Hey everyone, welcome to another Pathfinder adventure card game scenario. This is scenario, well I should say level 5, scenario 3, so scenario 5.3. We are over at the Scorched Obelisk, which is pretty much one of my favorite locations, especially at the high levels because it's pretty dangerous. At this location, when you succeed at a check to defeat the Bane by 4 or more, you are dealt 1d4 electricity damage. So, pretty awesome, pretty treacherous location. Playing with the character Alahazra, advancing the Blessings deck, and we get the Crystal Stalker. Okay, well, wow. This low number with this effect could be tricky. We've been seeing a lot of Crystal Stalkers in this campaign. And I kind of like a lot of repeats that show up in the campaign. Gives it kind of more of a narrative thread. And it's elite, which means that finally, when we defeat this Crystal Stalker, it will be gone. So it says we didn't examine this card. None of our checks are going to have the acid trait. And we only need a 9. So, what do we want to do? We could just do a, tough call here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use, we don't want to go overboard here. So we have Maga 3 fingers. So she can give us a +3 automatically. So we're going to use a Blessing of Thoth. We're going to use just a straight up D6 strength check. And we're rolling 2d6. Let's see what we get here. Alright, so we rolled a 6, 7, 8. We needed a 9. But we can use Maga 3 fingers. We'll have to recharge her to add 3 to the roll. So that will leave us over. And then we succeed in banishing the Crystal Stalker for the entire scenario. We also could have shenaniganed and did a D8 with the trigger trait, since we have Alahazra and her special power that allows her to add D8 to all checks that have the trigger trait. But as it is, the Crystal Stalker has finally been shattered into crystal fragments. Maybe the Crystal Stalker will leave poor Alahazra alone for the remainder of the campaign. Advancing the Blessings deck, and we get, hey, Toxic Geyser. This is what I'm talking about with repeats. Toxic Geysers reappearing all over this location map area. So difficulty defeat. Okay, this could be another treacherous location here due to that. So 15, we're going to go straight up with the survival because that's going to be for Alahazra a D8 plus, so D8 plus 4. So I have a +4 going on here. Let's see what else we want to do. It's a tough call. We're going to go ahead and do it. We're using the Find Trap spell. We might regret it. We're adding 3d8 and we get to add 4 to this roll. Alright, so we roll 6, 7, 8. And 8 is 16 and 4 is 20. So we did defeat the Toxic Geyser. That's the good news. We automatically recharge Find Traps. That's also more good news. The bad news is that we now, since we defeated that Bane by 5, we are dealt 1d4 electricity damage. That's the bad news. And we take 3 points of damage. Ouch. So we could use that armor to reduce it all. But instead, what we're going to do a little shenanigans. We're going to do this guy. He's going to reduce the damage. We can recharge it to reduce the damage by 2. And we're going to take a gamble here. And we will take 1 point of damage. We have a whole bunch of great spells, though. We're going to lose the Blessing of Pharasma. We want to keep the other cards. Okay. Scorched Obelisk 1. Alahazra 0. Alright, resetting the hand. Advancing the Blessings deck. Okay, we get a Burglar's Buckler. We'll just do this straight up Constitution check. We need a 6. We rolled a 2. That boon gets banished. Advancing the Blessings deck, we get a Blessing of Isis. Okay, interesting. It's a level 3, so not too enthused about it. So we need a Divine 7. Well, Alahazra has a Divine skill of D10 plus 7. So that's an auto acquire. So let's see. We can discard this card to explore your location. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get a free exploration and we get the villain. Dun dun dun. Let's go ahead and straighten this out so you can see. There we go. There's the villain. Check to defeat, combat 25. Immune to mental and poison. If the check to defeat has the coil trait, add 1d8. No, we already used our Blessing of Thoth. After you act, bury 2 cards. That's a very interesting effect. So, if we got him later on in the location deck, it might have been trouble with burying the 2 cards, because we might have been low on cards. But as it is, good thing we got him fairly early. We got to do the combat 25, and we're ready. He's undead. So check this out. We did. That's right. We kept the Ring of the Grasping Grave. We had to get rid of the embalming fluid for it, since it was an item, to make our deck legal. But glad we kept it. So we get to add 5 to this check plus 2. We rolled a 2. So we're going to use this item. That's going to allow us to have a plus 7 to our check. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to blast it with this brand new Sirocco spell, or Sirocco spell, which we gained from Hayden Hopper at last adventure. It's going to be Divine plus 3d8. That's pretty amazing. So our Divine is plus 7. And thanks to the Ring of the Grasping Grave, we're adding another 7. So we're already adding 14 to that check. That is pretty amazing. Okay. Adding plus 14. And get a load of that. Boom. 16. And 2 7s is 14. Wow. So that's a total of 30. And we had 4. So we had a 44 as our grand total. 44 is the grand total. That is amazing. But what happens now is first we'll roll to see if we recharge Sirocco or Sirocco, and we needed a Divine 13, so we do recharge Sirocco. Sirocco. So then what we're going to do is after you act, bury 2 cards. So we'll bury the Fiery Glare and the Blessing of Khepri spell, and of course we have to take 1d4 electric damage thanks to the Scorching Obelisk. So we take 2 points of electricity damage. This time we will bury this card. So now we have to reset our hand to make sure we have 7 cards still. And fortunately we are able to reset our hand. We do have 7 cards. The villain is defeated and the Scorching Obelisk location is closed. Alright, technical difficulties. Nope, no technical difficulties. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I like that scenario. It was, some of those scenarios are nail biters. So we did not gain any new cool, interesting loot here. Here's a spotlight on Alahazra, our character. So the reward for this scenario, we aren't going to go to a trader, unfortunately. We didn't really gain any cool new loot here. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little. So Alahazra is not going to the trader. Let's go ahead. So her reward was a power feat. So we chose this Seeker roll. So for the Seeker roll, I was looking at this second one, is when you defeat a Bane that has the trigger trait, you may draw a card or recharge a random card from your discard pile. So the second part is much more interesting than the first part. And since we're on level 5, so we're only going to be getting like 2 more power traits. So we can go ahead and just shoot for that one, or we could go for the hand size. I think the hand size has a lot more interesting effects. We'll go for the hand size, and then we're going to go bump up that one for the last one to try to like just blast through all these locations. Okay, so this is what we're going to do, bumping up hand size for the power feat. That was the reward for the scenario. Alright, well, thanks for watching. That was pretty exciting. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And I'll have another scenario up shortly. Thank you.